Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is Don't Worry If the New Year Starts with Some Unexpected Turns. I live in New York City, and a lot of people I know right now have COVID. And there have been a lot of canceled vacations and a lot of canceled parties and family gatherings. And I thought I was going to outsmart and outwit COVID, and I was going to spend some time home with both my daughters, and we were going to have a really beautiful holiday time. And I wake up on Christmas Day, and I end up with a stomach virus for 2 days. I tested negative for COVID, but I was pretty sick. And as I lay there sick in my bed, so much disappointment came up for me. I was so disappointed that the girls and I would not be able to cook all day and watch movies and just really be together. I was so looking forward to that plan. And as I laid in bed, I caught myself because I realized that story of disappointment was just how I thought things would be. And yes, it wasn't pleasant, but there was so much to be grateful for. And it didn't mean that we weren't still going to have some good times in a couple of days. And it didn't mean that we weren't going to bring in the new year in a beautiful way. And it has nothing to do with how 2022 will roll out for me or anybody that I know. We could look within when we're disappointed and kind of investigate that disappointment and see that if we sit in it too long, that it might prevent us from being grateful for what we have. And it might create stories that things are bad and things are not going to get better. And then we're not going to start the new year on the best note, because we're going to spend so much time feeling the fear of uncertainty and the unexpected and the things that didn't happen, that we're not going to spend the time to make our intentions, to look at our goals, and to start 2022 in the best way possible. And even if the year doesn't start exactly as we expected, even if the pandemic is still going on, it doesn't mean that we still can't create. It doesn't mean we can't meet people. It doesn't mean we can't start businesses. And it doesn't mean the pandemic is not going to end. These are bumps that we're experiencing, and we have to be careful not to sink. And disappointment does that to us. And I know it is so easy to get that way when you feel you're going to see people you love and you can't see them, or something doesn't happen right at work, or a relationship really hurts us. We're allowed to feel our feelings. But sometimes our feelings become stories. They become the stories of our lives that we can't have what we want, and life can never be the way we want it to be. And sometimes we look so far out into the world with all the things that are happening that we allow it to create such sadness and disappointment within ourselves that we can no longer create, that we can no longer feel peace or harmony and bring that to our lives. And bring it to the people we love and bring it out into the world with our creativity and our ideas. We have to be so careful to hold the light within us as the year starts, because this year can be a beautiful year for all of us. It's just we have to hold the light within and not let the stories that we tell of how life should be stop us from creating the best life possible. So I hope that you can quiet the disappointment and the fear, and know that 2022 has just as much potential as any other year, if not more. And I ask you to sit and write your dreams down, write your goals down for the year. And don't let the tiredness or the fear or the disappointment dampen any of that. Everything is still possible, and you still have your full potential. And then after you write down your goals and your dreams, and then write down your intentions. And what I mean by that is, how do you intend to get there? What are some action steps that you can take? And don't worry if they happen in March or April, just write them down. And hold all of these things close to your heart. And then I want you to write your biggest fears down for the year. It's beautiful to have goals and it's beautiful to have intentions, but we have to be honest about our fears, because sometimes that's the only thing that stands between us and a new life, us and a new business, us and a new relationship. So what is your biggest fear? Are you afraid that the pandemic will stop you from starting a new business or meeting new people? Are you worried you're not going to get a new job? Are you worried that you're not going to have enough money? Whatever your fear is, write it down. Because that fear is usually what stands between you and your goal, and you and your full potential. And then ask yourself, are you absolutely certain that fear is true? And the beauty of it is that you cannot be absolutely certain of anything. So those fears are uncertain. And what else is there? And I know I talk about maybe all the time, but it's so important as you enter the new year, when you have those goals and you have those intentions, that we have some really strong maybe statements. Because there could be twists and turns, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to achieve your goals. So what are your maybe statements? Maybe there are many ways to be okay. Maybe things will get better. Maybe I need to be patient as I achieve my goal. Maybe I can accept this and still be okay. Maybe I'm going to figure this out. Whatever maybe statements work for you. And every day I want you to look back on the dreams and the goals and the intentions and the steps and also the maybe statements. Because things happen. We're looking at it right now. We just talked about canceled vacations and the pandemic on the rise. And I'm sure there were other things that happened in 2021 that you didn't expect. But sometimes the unexpected brings good things too. We forget that. We always think that it brings bad things, but sometimes it brings wonderful things. And if you can stay focused and focus on your potential and not let disappointment sink you, you're going to find your way. And that's what's so great about those maybe statements. They keep unhooking you from the sadness and the disappointment. And they give you hope. And hope is really all you need to keep going every day. This year, there will be people that will make a lot of money, that will have good health, that will start businesses, that will get new jobs, that will get married. And this can be possible for you too. Don't ever count yourself out. And 2022 is filled with potential and beauty and wonder. And don't worry if it starts with unexpected turns. An unexpected turn is only a problem when it creates fear and doubt, and we stop trying. Sometimes an unexpected turn is for the best, and sometimes we just need to figure out another way to get there. And this reminds me of a parable I heard a long time ago, and I'm probably not even telling it correctly. There was a man who was trying to get to a new job, and he walked down this path, and there was a horse blocking his way, and he turned around and he went home. And the next day, he tried to go again, and he walked down this road, and there was a big horse blocking his way, and he went home. And the third day, he went down the path, and again the horse was blocking the road, so he went home. And then he went to a wise man, and he said, "Wise man, every time I try to get to this new opportunity, there's a horse blocking the road." And the wise man says, "Take another street." And that's really all that's happening sometimes. It's just life has another plan and we fall apart, but there's no reason to fall apart when life has maybe. And there's many different ways to be okay. I think that's the maybe statement that has held me most the last 2 years. Maybe there are many ways to be okay. And we adjust. We adjust to life in front of us as we keep trying to create the life that we want. And that's the most beautiful life to live, to stay in gratitude for our blessings. Stay in maybe when the unexpected comes our way. And every day keep trying to achieve the life that we want, the relationships that we want, the dreams that we have. I hope this year 2022 brings you beautiful things. And again, if it starts slow or there are unexpected turns, don't let it sink you. Don't let it overly disappoint you. Life still has the same potential, maybe on a different timeline, maybe on a different street, but it's still possible. Hold your dreams, hold your intentions, and do those maybe statements. And I promise you, you will get through 2022 with flying colors. You will achieve new things. New things will happen in your life. Your dreams are real. Your hopes are real. And always remember, in 2022, maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe or A Year Without Men, They're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you like this podcast, you could subscribe and leave a comment.